Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another Reddit Ask Me Anything with Todd Duffee.
What's up, guys? I can finally see you now. This is nice.
Oh yeah. All right. So you were supposed to make your first appearance at the pay-per-view card. That fell through. Any news on anything yet?
That wasn't supposed to be my first appearance. I heard there was
Oh,
an announcement that I was fighting last year on December 3rd, but that was just maybe a rumor I heard that was publicly announced. A
you
publicly
know,
announced rumor.
the weird thing about you is I've seen you like in the BKFC, like on the Only Hands, asking for fights for forever. Like, hey, when are you gonna give me a fight? When are you gonna give me a fight? And it's one of those things. Like I hear it all the time, but we still haven't seen you yet. And I don't think it's on your end. So what's going on?
I don't know. It's hard to get scheduled up as a heavyweight. I can tell you that much for starters, right? Like, there's a smaller pool of heavyweights, so they're not like and then I guess you could say heavyweights are a little more injury prone, maybe like tend to need time off more. They're going to
Sure.
fight a little less. So, I mean, that's probably the number one reason. Other than that, I can't really remark on why things haven't worked out on my end. I've been pretty pushy. I've done everything I can on my end to try to make those fights happen and get in there. I know the fans have they've been behind me as well, so I've had that support. But I don't know. Is this shows our? I just noted. Oh, I was seeing like the 90%. Is that our battery?
Oh no, it's how much of your files is sent over to me so far?
Oh, sorry. I was
No, you're good.
easily distracted. But I'm doing my best. I'm hoping to, they've mentioned February 3rd, but I haven't heard anything yet. And I hit Ben up this week to see what he'd heard. And so we're just kind of scratching our heads waiting. It's the hurry up and wait game.
So there's no bad blood between you and Ben, right? I mean, you took a couple shots at him at the press conference, but like deep down, like you guys are.
No, I don't know that I have bad blood with anybody. I think that's very hard to do. You got to have something internally wrong with you. Do I have to build myself up into a I don't have the word for it, but like I have to build myself up to be like in a disdainful place essentially. By
Okay.
the time I fight somebody, like I'm not trying to like them as a friend because like you have a level of respect for that person. You have a level of love for that person. Unless you're just incredibly mentally unhealthy, I think of most of what you see is a put on. 95, 99% of what you see is a put on. Like when you watch Eddie and Perry go back and forth, like dudes are writing notes down just so they can talk shit to each other. They don't mean it. Look what happens the
Sure.
moment they get done fighting. They're best friends. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something for the fan base that I've never really grasped my head around. Like, you're about to see these two guys fight. One, why do you need like this? And I guess it's an emotional pull of some sort. It's some dramatic thing, and I guess people like resolution to a story. But dude, I have no ill will towards Ben. Like he called me out like maybe 2015.
Okay.
Like in an interview that he couldn't even remember himself. He's like, I don't remember doing that. I'm like, no, you did it. I just like the fight. Like there is no better fight to offer the fans. There is no better opponent in the division that I can see. Like that guy is the boogeyman of MMA. It's not
Yeah.
or a boogeyman of BKFC. Like he scared Alan Belcher out of the division.
Right.
The only way to see it, they tried to match that fight up, and Alan's like, "See ya." I
Sure.
love Alan, and I don't mean that really. Like I'm kind of playing a joke, but I didn't really take any shots at Ben. Like the real truth of that fat joke
Uh huh.
is, if you look at it, the reality is, if you're not going to knock Ben down. You're not going to finish Ben with one shot. You're not going to
Sure.
finish Ben with one knockdown. Like if you look at his career, if you look at his career path, if you look at all his fights, it's going to take 3 or 4 hot ones to put him down and keep him down. And that's really what I was trying to say. Was I trying to make a joke out of it? Yes, but I kind of knew that the crowd would turn it into a fat joke. Ben's not fat, bro. I hate to
Sure.
tell you. I wish he was fat. Like it would be very helpful if he was fat. He's just a big guy. And obviously fighting 2-minute rounds is going to be it's going to be ideal to gain weight. Like had I been preparing, I was preparing for MMA up until like 7 weeks before I got the fight opportunity. I would have gained weight too. Like 5-minute rounds versus 2-minute rounds, there's a big difference, and it's a bigger power output sport, so you're going to want that extra weight. So it's just fitting that he's gotten bigger. Why wouldn't you? I'll probably gain 15 pounds over the next year as long as I continue to fight in BKFC.
Okay. So since that time, has there been any talks? I mean, like I would like to see you against Ben. I would like to see you against the Juggernaut. I mean, I just want to see you in the ring. Like, and has there been any talks about any of that yet, or you can't say, or?
The only thing I got was the day of the fights. That morning I was at breakfast, and Dave came up to me and asked how I felt about Hunt. And I definitely said I'd go. If you would have offered him this weekend, I would have taken it. and that's really all I've heard. I've been kind of put off there. I know David has been in Saudi Arabia this last week at the amazing boxing card, dude. Did you see it?
I didn't watch it, but I just
Oh,
saw
you gotta go back and watch it.
it was
You
great,
got
huh?
to. It's great, dude. It's a great card. They mashed it up really well, and there's some amazing fighters on that card, dude. It was so exciting. Mind you, I didn't get up early to watch it. I watched it like after the fact, but
Got it.
that's all the information I have for you. Me and Ben have been back and forth. We both still want the fight, so we're pushing on our end. But David is traveling. He is dealing with a lot. I mean, they're about to plan their 2024 year. So I do know that they are starting to trickle out announcements on the February 3rd card. They do have a main event in Trout,
Palomino.
yeah, versus Palomino, and I'm excited for Palomino. I think that's a big fight and a big win for him. I don't think he gets enough credit. I don't like that guy is, dude. Look at his career. Just
Yeah.
not even his BKFC, his MMA career. It's been so incredibly impressive. Like, but he's in that Miami area. Like, I know he gets that respect there, and hopefully, I think it'll be a big crowd for him. But I just don't think there's enough people talking about how good he is.
The unfortunate thing about him is I will post like a clip, we've interviewed him, and I'll post a clip, and the amount of people that hate that guy and will like, in my comments, oh, he sucks, why are you interviewing him, he's ducking this person, he's ducking that person. I was like, he's 9-0 or whatever he is, and all he does is face whoever the company puts in front of him. Like, how are you saying he's ducking anybody? It just
How
doesn't
can
make
you
sense.
duck anybody while you're holding the belt?
Yeah.
It's just I mean, people need somebody to hate. That's the weirdest thing about this sport that I've never really wrapped my head around. Like, they take a 5-second clip of you and decide who you are as a person. Really, what they're doing is deciding who they are. You know what I mean? Like this is who I am, and this is where I want to take my self hate out. I don't know why he has it. Like, bro, he's amazing. He's an awesome guy. He's incredibly intelligent, and dude, the guy can fight. Like, I love watching him fight. He was the number one guy I've spent time watching in like my education of BKFC. To be very honest with you, like, I know he's not my weight class, anything like that, but just from like an educational standpoint, he's the guy I've really spent a lot of time like dissecting and really kind of breaking down, because it's like him and Perry obviously is another one. Stylistically, they do a lot of things that are kind of subtle, but they're big switches from MMA to like BKFC or something like that.
Well, it doesn't seem like Luis cares what weight class you're in. He'll fight anybody. So maybe we can arrange that. Maybe he'll come up to heavyweight and fight you. Like,
I feel like if they paid him enough, he would. I don't think. Yeah, I think he's got plenty of opponents chasing after him, and I don't want to be the big guy fighting the little guy. Nobody ever likes that one, but
yeah,
I wouldn't turn him
right.
down. I'd
He's
take
a good
that.
dude.
Yeah, I'll get him the payday for it if he wants it.
Okay, so I try to keep up with where you're at on Instagram, but like you're in Colorado, then you're in Utah, then you're in California. Like, you are like, you just love to travel, or what's like? It seems like you're never one place for long.
I have done a lot of traveling in my 20s. Since my 30s, I tried to limit that a little bit, and then since COVID, I've really tried to cut it off as much as I can. But no, honestly, so when I got when I got the fight, I had 7 weeks to prepare. One is I've lived at altitude, and altitude's not easy to manage, and it really gets tough after about 4,500 feet. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't probably have to do as much as I did by like moving myself to Colorado, but I had a great coach in Jake Ramos up there, and he's done a lot of bare knuckle fights, and he's an old
Yeah.
coach of mine that I've wanted to work with for a long time. And my coach here in California was able to make it to where he could be up there for the whole camp. So we went up there, got an Airbnb, just so I could adjust. I've never dealt like I left Colorado because I wasn't getting the recovery that I wanted at altitude when I lived up there.
Okay.
But when I got to Salt Lake, I kind of was like, man, maybe I kind of spent too much money, but it was a great opportunity to reunite with Jake, and then I got some great training partners up there. I had 3 or 4 big bodies that are like Ben, 6'6", big heavyweight pro
Yeah.
boxers. I had a really good amateur boxer, and then I had Keegan also, who's done BKFC, Kamosi. So I had a great plethora of big guys. Jake's a big guy, so it's good to stand in front of him with pads and and like drills. And then my coach was able to make it up there. But before that, we had our family holiday, so I was like going from Texas, and I moved up to Denver for that 6-7 week period. Obviously, then I went there, and then I had to move my mom out to Texas. So I've been traveling like the last week or two, but
Okay.
hopefully I'm staying in one spot for as long as I can out here in California. I do want to go back to Colorado and do some of my camp with Jake, uh, but that's going to depend on like I'm about to take a new job right now. It's going to depend on quite a bit of different factors. I like to travel and have experiences, but I'm not a crazy fan of it at this old age.
Yeah.
It's like, go where for how long? How long is the flight? Like,
Yeah.
but
Jake is fantastic. We interviewed him. He's so funny and he's so knowledgeable. That's what I love. And like, he's one of those coaches that he said, now I'm going to start having a specific bare knuckle thing. He goes, this bare knuckles taking over. And he's like, I want to focus 1/3 of my gym on just bare knuckles. So it'll be interesting where it takes him.
I mean, he's doing it. And I think he has the character to do that. He is a type of coach that's built for a new sport. And he's the type of coach to bring guys into that. He's very open-minded. He's not as like egocentric as a lot of coaches tend to be. And he's not afraid to share an athlete. Does that make sense? A lot of,
Sure.
especially in MMA and boxing, they're really afraid of the other coach because I don't know what that is. I think the athlete's the ultimate coach at the end of the day. And most good coaches would tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
But some coaches don't like that, and I think he just has the mind for it. He has the experience already, and I think like, dude, he's smart. He has a lot of little like tricks already that I've learned that I'm like, oh, like he's really studied this game and he really gets it. And again, he has this open mind, so he's always growing. He's always gonna develop. And that's what I think makes a great coach. To be honest with you, like there is too many coaches that are set in their ways. It's like
Yeah.
it could be frustrating to like watch, I guess.
Okay, so you mentioned a new job. So many people think, oh, this guy's a fighter and he makes tons of money and he's not a regular guy who has a job. I mean, so clearly most of you guys have full-time jobs and then you fight on the side. The fighting is your side gig. So what will your new job be?
I'm gonna do a sales job. I don't want to jump onto it until I get the job. It looks like I
Okay,
should be able to get it. I fit the role very well, and it's a job I've done in the past. Um, but yeah, of course we have to work. Like I've spent more money on fighting than I made this year in my 3 signed fights and only 1 fight I fought. I literally like,
yeah,
it's just it's a very odd, difficult sport, and I don't think the fan base has a perspective on it at all. Right? Like they
sure,
have an idea of it, and then the promotions and honestly the media, because they need a talking point, they embellish and they like perpetuate this idea that's not even a reality for 99% of fighters. It's literally doesn't exist. Like most guys have to work. If you want to have a fighting career, I suggest you stay working. It's going to make your fighting career easier,
okay,
and more manageable from a like life standpoint. I spent my 20s not working and I regret it. Like
okay,
I absolutely like I was full time fighting, full time training, and I could not stay consistent enough, or I would get. I literally got 2 times in my career. I got stuck for a year and a half, iced out on contracts. Imagine not being like totally not in my control. Nothing I can do about it except argue with somebody about,
right,
hey, can I get out of this contract so I can go make some money elsewhere because you're not going to fight me. It's just a dirty, nasty business. I don't know. I don't think most guys have fighting careers. I don't consider myself to have a fighting career. I haven't made enough money to call it a career.
okay,
And I'm not complaining about it. I'm just giving you the reality of it. It's like, where's this career? It's really a hobby. It's a hobby for most guys, even at the highest level. Like, um, you know, I wish the sponsors and the things like that existed like they used to, but they're very few and far between, and it's really that only upper 3% that have them. If you're holding the belt, baby, you
yeah,
know. And I know guys right now in BKFC that are holding belt that are working a full time job. You know,
absolutely.
so it's just part of the game.
Yeah. Okay, so I see that like archery is like super important to you. Like it looks like you love to shoot bows. Like how did you get into that? Like how long have you done that?
I think after my second shoulder surgery, I got into it just from like a fun standpoint. I really wanted to get into hunting, and
Okay,
like I can't think of a pure way to go about trying to shoot something than doing it with a bow. And like the idea of sitting in a deer stand at 4 a.m. sounded kind of enjoyable,
all right, peaceful.
Yeah. But no, it's not a huge part of my life. Like my buddy Paul Boontello is heavily getting into it. He's starting to do a lot of hunting and taking people on hunts
Yeah,
and things like that. And so I just like to go out there with him and shoot the shit and like go shoot. But I'm not too terribly serious about it. I've just been doing it a little bit lately as like a just to hang out with my buddy Paul. Like Paul's fun,
got it.
and Paul's out there shooting every day. Buentello is literally like the last 4 days in a row I've talked to him. He's like, "Oh, I'm at the range again." I'm like, "All right, call me later." It's like because I'm trying to get him to hold pads for me or something. But no, it's just something. It's just something for fun. I'm not like pro. Paul's a pro.
So I back in Colorado, I did a lot of bow fishing. So I worked at the gator farm down in southern Colorado. So we had carp. So I would go shoot carp all day and then take them to feed the fish, and like it was so fun to do that. But yeah, I mean, like shooting a target got to get old after a while. I do some bow hunting up here too, but like yeah, bow fishing though, that's my jam. I love that.
Are you in Colorado?
So I live in Wisconsin now, but I'm from Colorado. So
Oh,
we when everybody started moving to Colorado for that legal marijuana and stuff, we took all that weed money and we got the hell out of there. So
not a terrible idea. Like it really shot. The value of prices shot up for about the first 5 years. Now it's starting to go. Whoop.
yep. So we made so much money that we made so much more selling our little house that we were able to get 30 acres in the middle of the woods. Like I have forest all around me, no neighbors. It's a dream. So I love it.
Ben lives up in Wisconsin, doesn't he?
He's about 3 hours south of me. Yep.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I can't imagine dealing with like I grew up in the Midwest, like Southern Illinois, which is like the worst weather in the world. But
fib.
Wisconsin's pretty much the same thing, right?
Like it's not too like so we don't have snow up here like right now. It's so weird. We have no snow right now, like on the ground, none.
Really? I mean, I don't know if you can see like outside it's here. It's a sunny day out here.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
2 days after Christmas. It's like beautiful.
Yeah.
But no, archery's just something for fun, and like yeah, I'll do it. I do want to get more into hunting and things like that because I grew up in Southern Illinois where like deer hunting and is a big deal, and
Okay.
like go with my dad and do all that stuff. I'm just not, in my 20s, I really wasn't stable enough to like sit down and like hone my hunting skills in. I was traveling around a little bit too much.
We have the mountain man look going now. So I mean like you've got the hunting look. Like that's you're set. You're halfway there.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to build this beard out for this bare knuckle situation. It's hopefully it'll keep some of the cuts. I remember Rockhold saying he wished he had a mustache when he got his teeth knocked out. I'm like, all right. It's like, fuck.
Did you so you talked to it? Like is it a buddy of yours? Like did you talk about the experience before you got in or
Yeah, I remember, I think he said that literally right before. Dude, I left my UFC contract 3 years ago for BKFC. It's not
okay.
like before I got in. It's before
Right.
they decided to have me fight. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of a joke to me. It's like, oh yeah, so like when you decided to start doing this, you mean like before I ask out of my UFC contract, or this isn't new for me.
That's crazy.
I've been working with a box coach straight for the last 3 years, so hopefully it works out. You asked me something. Oh, Rockhold. He just I think he literally said it in the interview, like right after the fight. I think he was like,
Okay.
"Damn, like maybe I should have grew a mustache." Like I don't know. That's brutal. I honestly think like it's interesting how the knuckles do change so many aspects of the fight. So we'll see.
It's one of those things like I want to ask you so many questions, but you don't have a fight scheduled yet, so I don't want to waste everything right now just shooting the shit with you for a minute. But I just wanted everybody. There's so many people that are like, "What's the story? What's going on with Duffee? When's he going to get in there?" And I was like, I figured we had to reach out to you and figure out what's going on. But
I don't know. I think there's a fan base out there for me, but like there's a lot of people in the sport of fighting that are not a fan that are in high power positions. Is all I can really guess. I don't know what's going on. I've been
yeah,
willing to fight. I've been healthy for the last 2 years. I've done everything on my end to make myself available to fight. But like I said, I'm I'm getting ready to go start a new job. So
yeah,
hopefully, like I'm training full time every day, twice a day if I can. When I start that job, that probably won't be the reality, but what are you going to do?
yeah,
If the people that are in control don't want to see me fight, it doesn't really matter what the fans want.
yeah.
But it seems like the fan base is there for me. Like the
Sure.
messages I get, the feedback that I get, people want to see me fight. Like it's not a secret, and they can't understand. Like they're like, what are you doing wrong? It's like, I don't know. Tell me by all means, I'm open. Like,
Right.
like what can I do to get to get a fight signed? Like I think at one point, like I almost signed to fight with Valor like 3 weeks before because I was after I lost that opportunity in Ryzen because of the passport visa issue.
Okay.
I was like, man, there's no fights to be had for the rest of the year. So like, there's this Valor Fighting Championship or something like that, which was also another bare knuckle. I almost signed with them, and then my manager, like maybe a day later, called me with the offer to fight Ben. I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
Sign me up. So we'll see. Like I said, I've been open. I've been healthy for the last 2 years. I've been training full time for the last 2 years. I literally have hit up every fighting promotion in the world practically. I have. I've been all like the Eastern Bloc countries. Like I have done Russia. I have been. I don't know of a continent that I haven't tried to fight on in the last 2 years. It's just a
Okay.
matter of like I don't like the fans don't really have any power unless you have some sort of insane fan base like Connor. But guys, by all means, go out there and scream. If you want to see me fight, go out there and make a commotion because I don't know what else is going to work. Like, short of me picking a fight and making some sort of fake dramatic pro wrestling situation occur, which I can do and I'm open to, I guess, but I prefer not to. I'd rather just get in there and get busy.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hopefully we hear about a fight coming soon, and then we can do like a more in-depth interview. But like I said, I just wanted to give the fans what they like. I said, on the Reddit, people are like, "What's going on with him? What's going on?" So I just wanted to touch base.
Scream my name. I don't know. I mean, tell me, how do you get a fight? Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, if you're a social media star, it helps. But I don't. I mean, like I said, this is definitely a fight. Like you versus Duffee, you are Duffee. So you versus Ben or you versus Hunt. Like Copeland. I have no idea. I just want to see you in the ring.
I prefer not to fight my buddy Copeland. I love that guy.
Sure.
But like if it's the difference between him getting paid or me getting paid, I would do it. For
Right.
him or myself, depending on the scenario. But that's not an ideal scenario for me. But I'm down. There's nobody that I'm not willing to fight. I don't have any issues like that. So again, like I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. It's not. I don't. The only one other issue could be his money, and I'm not getting paid more than I was before. So it's like that doesn't make sense either. So again, I don't have the answers for you. I'm just as frustrated, maybe 12 times over. So
Okay, so say they don't get you on the fight in February, like they said. They said, "Oh, we're going to reschedule Todd for February." Say they don't, like BKFC is going to California in April. Is that something that you'd be interested in, or
yeah, of course, I'd love to avoid those extra state taxes, but
sure,
it is what it is. That's a long time. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested. I definitely like that opportunity. Um, Again, I'm on a 3-fight contract with BKFC, so I'm at their mercy. So it's up to them in general.
sure,
I don't have much say other than yes or no.
right?
Other than like, oh, I can get off work that week or I can't.
Yeah.
It's like,
All right. Well, we will touch base as it gets closer to this. We hear something. If I hear something, I'll let you know. And if you hear something, let's schedule something in the future. So,
hey, I love the idea of Saudi Arabia. I hear a rumor that there's a fight card in February there. I love that. I love the idea of California. I love the idea of Atlanta, Georgia. I've also heard that maybe Atlanta. So let me know, guys. I'm here.
breaking news. All right, buddy. We'll let you know. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
See you, brother.
See ya.
You said to wait, right?